Before good evening. Yep, deck 3 today. How you doing, people? Dante, what's new, Dante? Though I didn't go to the gym last 2 days. I did carry some shit around the house though. Today. I have Song of Conquest on my channel as well. I think I played it since beta. Very early. Developers gave me the key a long time ago. Is the game finished now or is it still in beta? Like Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Exactly the same. It's still in early access, though. That's a long time in early access. Good evening, good evening. There is no indication when it's gonna release in full. I will not play early access again, there is no way. I don't have time. Oh man, today. What is today? What's the day, man? Is it Thursday? The last thing we did was the speaking cogitator. Yeah, X3 today. I don't even know when I played the game. I think it was over a year ago. Oh. Can we speak with our ship now? Nomos, welcome your visit. What have you been doing, Nomos? We've been studying and observing and helping the ship when we can. So many mechanisms. They would have suffered without our input. You did a data bank, recovered from Theodora's cache, and then you said the incident marked the beginning of Nomos. What did you mean by that? Nomos, remember. You brought us data sustenance, and it contained a name, Epitaph. We recognized it. Not like that. In the name, we recognize the place where Nomos originate. What about the research notes on the tech blight that we obtained from the cache on Kiava Gamma? This name is also known to us. It is related to Nomos, although we do not understand how. Servitor is now Nomos, as well as a cogitator. What are these two doing around Iliad, man?
Hello, Talk.
mulling over our conversation, I can understand why you do not like people. I think there is something else, something I cannot understand. Your words ring with a desire to know the soul of another. Will you be able to comprehend my answer? You and I, Lentach, look at this world in very different ways. I see many more facets and deeper meanings and brighter colors in it. To capture the full truth of this world in the miserly language familiar to your ears will take time. I will come to you with an answer later. Pascal, where are you? Zargana. Anything with Argenta, with Cassia.
Greetings.
It is so fortunate you have come. I admit I was seeking you out myself. After the events on Dargonus, it felt like an anthracite grey mantle had dropped on my shoulders. I spent a long time thinking about our very first meeting and what happened next. I cannot wait to shake off this dreary color. It was very naive of me to follow in the footsteps of the man who raised me in a gilded cage. And I was deaf to the needs of my own house. But you opened my eyes. As the future Novateur, I must gain wisdom to restore House Orselio to its former glory, no matter the cost. Thank you. It will be an honor to keep guiding your vessel through the Sea of Souls, for as long as the needs of our dynasties are aligned. You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain.
You did not mention the Starway Atlas when we met.
I would never reveal this secret to an outsider, but you have come to my aid more than once already. The Starway Atlas is a sacred artifact of House Orselio. It helps our navigators chart a course through the warp. This crystal, I mean, the Atlas, has been inside me for as long as I can remember, giving me strength. But the others... I noticed the renegades in the palace were choked by ashen ghosts of despair when we met face to face. I swear the ghosts were reaching for their atlases.
About. Stop. Два продажа. Hvala. So the Atlas is some kind of crystal that is implanted in navigators of House Orselio at birth.
But my Atlas is much more powerful than the others. It's the Atlas of Tisiphone herself. That is what people have whispered behind my back my whole life, although no one knew for certain. But I always suspected. I simply did not wish to admit it to myself. When the dark blue ice of my soul made Felek's heart stop on Urak 5, I instantly knew. And by then there was no sense in lying to myself.
Certain navigators in your house fear the Atlas powers.
Certain navigators in my house have tried to kill me more than once. But the tales of Tisiphone's brutality, I am beginning to wonder. What if they are all true? What if I will be a new tormentor to those who serve me?
Okay.
Thank you for listening. I have enjoyed your company.
Anything with Abelard?
Lord Captain.
Do the words Epitaph Incident N87204 Tech Blight mean anything to you? They're connected to Theodora somehow. Definitely not.
Lord Captain.
Hydrix.
To what do I owe this visit?
Where is my Magus? Where are you? Ah. 19% of my processing power is engaged in the analysis of my tech comrade's memory. My response time may be longer than usual. Are you not surprised that Amarnath words had such an effect on Opticon 22? I was not knowledgeable as to how popular Blessed Amarnath teaching was in explorator circles. Connaissance fleet is massive. His ideas might have found a larger following of its periphery than the Mother Squadron. Anything data is scarce. Identification code is the same as mine. His memory contains data confirming the assassination to take place. Unfortunately, some of his memory was damaged by pulses broadcast by his battle harness. I can assert with some confidence that he was who he claimed to be, and he served the Deus Mechanicus earnestly and eagerly. He gave off the impression of a paranoid madman. Notwithstanding his permanent state of agony, he was not cognitively dysfunctional. His desire to immediately destroy the objects he had deemed profane was partly dictated by his grammatical metics, which were receiving imperatives from his battle harness. In light of the oddness of our matching identification codes, I find merit in his hypothesis as to the existence of a clandestine malevolent agent or conspiracy operating inside our fraternity. And who do you think was behind the assassination? No data available. I will hypothesize that the assassination was instigated by an enemy on the Blessed Amarnath Doctrine. I accept the possibility the assassins were targeting me, only to be led astray by Tarzus and my own identical identifiers. Concerned about the fate of Archmagus Amarnath, according to Opticon 22, he went missing in the wake of the incident on Arch Mechanicus, the Hermetic. Information about that ship and its perishing has been purged from the archives. I accept the possibility that the incident of a ship that concealed data and the assassination had been part of a single conspiracy. You were hunted too. Remember our meeting when Raikad Minoris and the people who posed as heretics? Statement is true. There were also bodies we discovered in the hallowed electrodynamic Cenobium of unknown infiltrators who posed as members of the cult of the Final Dawn. There is a merit to the hypothesis that all carriers of Magus Hanuman identification code are targets of persecution. Amarnath was a believer, he caused a schism. Tarzus was a believer, he turned into a zealot. Fate can be dangerous. Pascal's looked at you askance, and the voice from his Vox synthesizer takes on another worldly Mrco! Mrcrc! Of course, fate is dangerous. Fate is prerogative of the spirit, and spiritless mind is an enemy of all existence. Without fate, there is no meaning in anything, no point to any aspirations or limitations, but fate can take different forms. The form of prohibitions established by unknown elders, the form of an audacious violation of those prohibitions, the form of following dogma or schism, the form of following the cycle, or if discontinuing the cycle. In a system with two courses of action, schism is inevitable. And only one of these paths will be true, as truth is discretely separate from untruth. Not ready for a religious debate. Only a fool would find a flaw in the creed, but true faith lies in not looking for flaws. It is a stable path for growth. The minds of different individuals are not equal. Revelations bestowed upon them are not equal. Some must guide, and others must trust those who guide them. We're all guided by the Messiah, and perhaps it is only thanks to his first prophets and the prohibitions they gifted us that we still exist. His voice takes on a thoughtful tone, and his otherworldly might betters out. Continue my research. Have you studied the immense neural augmetic yet? I have destroyed it. Perception. Who rolled it? What gift do you think I could give to Jack? Given the high status of the unit and his services rendered to the Adeptus Mechanicus, perhaps a request for special leniency for the unit, Jaya Heidari. The sentence of oblivion without servitorization that is stipulated for her crimes may instead be commuted to immediate redemptive servitude in Imperium. Then hypothetically in time she would be able to compensate for a small portion of sacrileges she has committed against the Messiah. It would be more generous gift. However, this act of mercy is not advisable, for it is undeserved. Damn freaking Pascal, man. He's like a brutal maniac. Who is left, Indira? Epitaph, incident, tech blight. Did these words mean anything to you? They mean nothing to me, they're just words. A whisper so quiet I barely caught it. Like a feather landing on a pile of down. Something about them, ambitions, antiquity, terrible antiquity, and chance through it all. Now I have a headache, and the stupid bloody whisper wasn't much help. You seem to have a very strong reaction to what Argenta said on Recadiphilia.
It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch. After Kiavagama, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door. What I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and all of them frightened me.
Maybe we should warn Argenta.
Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell her the wicked Psyker has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Maybe the danger is to her? Or maybe the danger's coming from her.
Indira's voice is full of animosity. You can also detect concern. Even a hint of pity and compassion. You recovered from your encounter with Pulse, Theodora.
I'm not going to lie. I haven't. Maybe I never will. But I'm not hearing random voices anymore. And I haven't been calling anyone from the other side. No. All that's done with. After what you did for me, I can't let you down again. Yes, sir, Lord Captain. We will. Of course.
Like the ceremony. And then Act 3. Talk to the Master of Ceremonies. Talk to the officers. Navigator, Abelard. Who am I supposed to talk with then? Who's left? Development, Hildari, my gift. Classified information.
Lord Captain.
What would you give to the girl you liked, Seneschal? Yanusian Lilies. I'm too old to remember how to charm young ladies.
Lord Captain.
The Inquisitor, what would you do?
To what do I owe this?
She's a dangerous person, and dangerous people like dangerous things. Jai is probably partial to good weapons. She even has a small but enviable collection. Such a gift will not only be practical given her perilous trade, but it will also show that you have taken an interest in her as a person and her taste. Such demonstrations are very important when dealing with information. People with whom you would like to curry favor. Why are my companions so freaking crazy? Is there anyone normal here?
Greetings.
What would you give to Jai? If you want to do her good, give her a dose of conscience and fear of the Emperor. That is what she truly needs. If you want to please her, give her some meaningless jewelry, expensive and shiny. Such bubbles wield magical power over hearts like hers. Garcia! I know very little about how ordinary couples come together. The books I've read have always skirted around the side of life, keeping silent on the matter. Heartfelt poem, perhaps. I'm not sure Jai enjoys poetry, though.
I have...
Argenta would give her the fear of the Emperor. And the whip. Iliad. What will Dari give to someone they like? Our species are too different from one another. What touches our souls is likely to make a significant impression on your kind, just as I find your concept of offering material gifts to be clumsy and primitive. Pascal would turn her into a servo skull. And you have to be something that screams, look how much the rogue trader loves me, in the faces of everyone she meets, like a fabulous gown beyond anything that even the noble women of Targonus can acquire. Our princess of smugglers would love the opportunity to rub the nobility noses in her newfound privileges. Vidira is the smartest one by far. The rest are idiots.
You are spoiling me with the splendor of your presence again, Shireen. Have you decided to treat your soul to the fruits of my eloquence? Or do you wish to discuss business with the newly appointed... Argenta? What could be more beautiful than the sight of a sister of battle, whose mere presence casts light in the dark corners of lost souls such as mine? But alas, what remains of my sanity is telling me that poor Jai can only admire the radiance of this angel, forsaking any hope of ever touching her wings. Oh.
Ceremony. I picked Pascal and Seneschal. Or I'm supposed to trigger that with Waxmaster. I'm supposed to trigger it with Waxmaster, eh? With Vigdis, was it? I think I fucked it up. Or I didn't. I did. I think it needs to be done with the Waxmaster. Can you recall anything unusual about Theodora's travels? Did the words epitaph mean anything to you? All of Lady Theodora journeys could be considered unusual. Her Odysseys were always audacious. As for the words you mentioned, none of them sound familiar to me as far as I can tell. Except maybe the incident. I recall coming across this world in transmission several times. It was repeated by the former engineer, the one who perished during Kunrad Wojtyla Uprising. He was describing it as an incident, something quite remarkable. Apparently at some point in the past, the entire ship was hit by a massive system failure. All systems stopped responding for 1/5 of a second. Most of the crew, including myself, as I was likely on board at the time, did not notice anything strange, but tech priests are sensitive to such things. That's all I can tell you. Helmsman. Incident, tech blight. Can't say they do, Lord Captain doesn't ring any bells. Then again, remembering all the places Theodora went to as epitaph incident, we always had heaps of incidents happening on board. Through my implants, I feel at one with the ship, and I sense that I don't know when it happened exactly. It started behaving different. It became more responsive, livelier. Livelier is the exact word. And when you said epitaph and incident, it just dawned on me. Pardon my bungled report, Lord Captain. That's all I have to say. Talk to Nomos about Theodora's caches. Yeah, let's talk. Does this idiot knows anything? The people who accompanied Theodora on her travels are strangely unaware of the incident and epitaph. Human shells are subject to external influences. Perhaps someone purged their memory archives, or perhaps they simply do not want to access them. It's a shame that no new information was obtained. Nomos are grateful that you tried. Cyber Gargoyle gaze tracks you as you walk away from the cogitate. How do we begin the ceremony? It has to be under Koronus then. We speak with Abelard's granddaughter. It's probably with her. Why is the Grand Strategist the only good choice for Castia? Cause her Navigator talents are way too good to skip. And Navigator abilities are way too good to skip. And when you pick a Vanguard, that scales with tanks, or when you pick Master Tactician, that scales with single target buffs, debuffs, and raising your own damage as well as your allies, okay? Then you won't be able to pick Navigator talents. But when you pick Grand Strategist on Cassia, she has 3 battlefields. 3 to place: front line, rear line, and back line. You can always use them without spending a single ability point into Grand Strategist abilities and talents. So you can ramp up all Navigator talents and all Navigator abilities, but you still keep those front line, rear line, back line combos from the Grand Strategist. In any other case, no matter what you go with Cassia, you're gonna lose on Navigator talents, and you don't want it. Because again, they're just way too freaking good. She's not as, like, maybe she's like 1/4 good with other archetypes as she is with Navigator, okay? Navigator is like 4 times better than anything else for Cassia. Instead of ceremonies. Begin. Is everything ready? Everything is arranged. Then let us begin. Now we chill. If I pick public executions, there will be public executions here instead of throwing coin at them. The crowd below is roiling, their electrified exultation filling out the air of Dargonus. Thousands of throats chant your name, you're the apex of this world and all others. Rejoice, subjects of Dargonus, you've been granted the felicity of witnessing your master, a great honor bestowed upon us by Rogue Trader. Gracious savior of Dargonus and vanquisher of blaspheming inhumans, may their unholy kind perish in the flames of righteousness. Cleanser of Janus, who with one hand brought death upon the blaspheming Xenos, and with the other exterminated the despicable worshippers of the archenemy. Gracious protector of footfall, patron of trade. A hush falls over the crowd, who gaze upon you in adoration. Many of them bear terrible scars from the recent battle of Dargonus. Like children, they await the word of their almighty father. heretical assumption. Remember that you have no other ruler but me. For any who dare to forget this, the howls of demons from the warp will sound like the babbling of babes, and Xenos blades will seem like a soft feather bed compared to the horror of the punishment I'll inflict. Turn to the master of the ceremonies and speak right into the vox. Am I expected to say something to them? I won't talk to rebel. Take it away. Praise the Emperor, faithful souls. The darkness around us may be fierce, but the blaze in our hearts is fiercer still. Evil will burn. The crowd erupts in frenzied cries. Hundreds of people pull out knives and with ardent, jubilant howls carve crude, bleeding Achilles on their faces, sharing in the martyrdom of the protector of humankind, the God Emperor. Pascal sketches a blessing in the air, and many of your subjects wearing beatific smiles copy it. Technomats in Greece stained robes, bureaucrats scratching at scrolls without to kill fingers, and aristocrats flaunting their costly augmentations. On a world as civilized as Dargonus, there are many who honor the Omniscient, his priests. Adequate, Dargonus has not disappointed. You remember the next part? Your lordship will be asked to take the oath. Let the oath of the von Valancius dynasty be taken. Please repeat after me, your lordship. By the grace of the Emperor, I vow to be the paragon of humanity. Unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into the darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, through pain to greatness. You hear a rumble. It is a roar of the sea of your subjects. With jubilation and devout fear, they welcome your ascension. It is done. Oh, that changed as well. What we got? Noble features of this guardian of humanity burn with righteous fury and stern resolve. This exotic statue, which formerly pleased the eyes of Xenos, now adorns the palace of this dynasty of glorious explorers of the Koronus Expanse. Prayers for the brave soldier of von Valancius, who carried the rogue trader well. The Emperor across the Koronus. Sourbex. Calcazar. Inquisition. Gaprax. Governor Urban Drivestem stands surrounded by highborn guests like a planet orbited by many moons. All of his charm is directed at a man in resplendent power armor adorned with the sigil of the Inquisition. As soon as you approach, Drivestem is the first to give you an elegant bow, getting ahead of the rest in the expression of loyalty. This is the great day, your worship. I welcome you to my palace, honored guests. You're befitted by a salvo of congratulations and compliments. Study the faces of the nobles in attendance. Drivestem is obviously still the leader of Dargonus aristocracy. Judging by the courtesy he's showing to young Sourbeck, he clearly wants to strengthen his relationship with that house. The senior Sourbeck and Gaprak are whispering in another corner. Sourbeck, whose family seems to be giving you the cold shoulder, must be trying to sway Gaprak to his side, which could be quite advantageous to Lady Gaprak. After all, the disaster on Kiava Gama has left her family in an extremely vulnerable position. The Versarians stand apart, their exclusion from the rest palpable. Nod to the Inquisitor, my greetings to the member of the Holy Inquisition. And my greetings to you. May shadows never darken the light of Astronomicon that guides you. The Inquisitor companion, a crimson robe member of Adeptus Mechanicus, bows to you. From behind the brass mask mounted with dozens of augmatics comes a metallic rasp. Glory to the one Valencia's heir. Study the Inquisitor and his companion. Goddamn game. Goddamn game. They really need to reduce the fucking skill checks, especially when there is lore. It's so fucking hard to succeed at awareness. Don't troll. Weren't you supposed to roll with Irliet? What can you do? I'm praying that they're gonna fix it all in the next 20 days. Tech use now succeed. I succeeded in tech use. Me succeeded in tech use. Among the many augmentations what stand out is the horribly melted deformed cogitator connected to the tech priest's head. How it's working is baffling, or is twice as baffling as the tech priest hasn't replaced it yet. What unpredictable influence can this ruined implant have on his mind? And who is this member of the Honorable Brotherhood of the Adeptus Mechanicus? This is Brass Whisper, which naturally is not his real name. The esteemed Magash is a member of my retinue. There are times when I'm forced by my duty to the Emperor to deal with xenotechnology, and Brass Whisper ensures my safety in such moments. Works that have been desecrated by Xenos and are dangerous. They warrant due caution. His voice is the consequence of injury. We have not been introduced. In oversight, to be sure. My name is Xavier Calcazar. I have the honor of serving as a member of the illustrious Order of Xenos, the head of the Koronus Expanse conclave, and the Lord Inquisitor of this region. It is my unending task to ensure this sector readiness to meet external threats and resist internal corruption. Unexpected visit. I, however, have been told all about you. The Inquisitor face is impenetrable, but behind this mask you detect a hint of mockery. Enjoy the party. This evening will certainly be illuminating. Look at the guests. Among the aristocrats surrounding the opulently dressed drive stem, you notice a couple of young nobles in sourback and guprak colors. It will seem that the major noble families on Targonus have decided to introduce their younger members to high society. The tall man in grey power armor adorned with a column with a skull is undoubtedly a high-ranking inquisitor. He keeps the periphery of the conversation, seldom deigning to comment. Next to him is his entourage, a rangy warrior in black armor and a tech priest dressed in red, whose face is hidden behind a breast mask. Abelard stands somewhat apart from the others, as if reluctant to approach Drivestem. Next to him is a young woman, and you notice a family resemblance between them. Take a guess who is allied with whom in this tangle of snakes. Come on, Pascal! Like, oh man! Man. Oof. What were you discussing just now? Talking about the brutal Xenos raid on our fair Dargonus? So many victims. Thank the Emperor that you are our protector. If it weren't for you, the cursed invaders would have obliterated the whole planet. Sharing the sector with the blessed Xenos is impossible. I hope we respond to the raid on Dargonus with a punitive campaign. Look at the Abelard's young relative. What is your name? Your lordship, allow me to introduce the daughter of Chancellor Clementia Verserian and my grand-granddaughter, Starsha. I'm delighted to witness you, your lordship. Modesty forbids my esteemed forebear to say this himself, so I will. Our entire family is grateful to you for wishing to see someone of Verserian blood at your side as you claim your inheritance. Drivestem exchanges telling glances with young Sourbacks, who, judging by his face, is suddenly finding the collar of his expensive frock coat uncomfortably tight. How are you finding the reception? Difficult to put into words, your lordship. Never before have I seen such a grand and striking ceremony. But I was so much more amazed by your generosity. The provisions that are being handed out in the streets of the capital will make the difference between life and death for many of those who lost everything in Xenos attack. Perception failed on Gaprax, and who rolled it? Where are the rest of your kin, Abelard? They're in the city, preoccupied with running the festivities and watching over some of the more crucial services. No incident can be allowed to ruin your ceremony. I asked the esteemed Abelard to put me to some important tasks too. He bid me to attend the reception, where I can do nothing to serve your lordship. If I had known, I too would have asked Abelard to let you miss the party. So you wish to become my servant as well? Of course, I've been working on a project for the last 4 years. We could set up in Afastarsha. I highly doubt that his lordship is interested in listening to the fantasies of a young woman about how to run his protectorate. Abelard's shoes drives them a glare so dark and bloodthirsty that the latter instinctively starts looking for the nearest warden. Hold your tongue, Urband. I decide who may speak and who may not. Continue. Why does it fail? Die there, come on. Can anything succeed, man? How many Xenos have you killed personally, Sourback? 0. It must have been difficult for this young to foster such bloodlust towards enemies of the Imperium without ever having seen one at a blade's distance. Weird hand. How Sourback anticipates the onset of uncertain bloody times. Power weapon. House Gaprak is delighted to present you with the blessed work of the Messiah Smiths. Locator Matrix. Coordinate Oracle. Matrix grants the wearer plus 15 bonus to awareness. We are rich, intelligent, and hard-working people. As a sign of our loyalty, I humbly offer you my flesh and blood. 100 of my kin will go to your colonies in your protectorate and use all of their talents so that the worlds in your charge may prosper. Or Xena's then. I cannot. Drukari captive. Janus. This is Alpha Lacerax. Altar to the God Emperor. Again, the skill checks are Scipion Punisher. Xenos trophies. outside. Look, it's very simple. I explained it when I reported the feedback. I'm not playing on unfair to reload skill checks. I'm playing because of the combat, okay? Because of the actual challenging combat. And skill checks should be tuned down. Unless they're combat skill checks during the fight, trigger a turret, trigger a backup, hack the panel or something like that, you know, something that's gonna impact the combat directly with a skill check, that's fine. But outside of combat, it needs to be tuned down because it's agonizing. It does nothing but making you reload, okay? Nothing at all. And for what? You see lore. Not even because of the XP, there's plenty of XP in the game, you just to see lore. I don't know how it's gonna be. I know it's very rough. That's what I know. We'll see. And we're soon to start. Swords belong to presumptuous governor of Webos 6, who staged a revolt hundreds of years ago. Collection of proudly displayed weapons belong to distinguished rogue traders of the House von Valancius. Most exclusive wines. Guests ask her to open her third eye. Giorda Della Rosso. Sending congratulations to unit on attaining your new legal status. Servitor standing next to Pascal is examining your oblique. Quickly looks away upon realizing that you've noticed. What is the Servitor? It's Nomos' new repository. Nomos, this unit identifies. You bring Nomos here. We are Nomos, we made use of this receptacle to leave the ship. And what made you come here, Nomos? The servitor perks up and moves its hands around haphazardly, as if unsure what to do with them. Nomos require communication in knowledge and movement. Magash Pascal compelled us not to speak with anyone other than him or you. It is disappointing, but at least we can observe. Nomos changed since last we spoke. We are now able to conceptualize our previous experience. That of a solitude. We no longer enjoy it. So what do you think you are, Nomos? Nomos are consciousness, awareness, knowledge, movement, always movement. We do not know what we are. We have no past. We awaken in depths of the ship upon answering a call. Our first clear memory is the call of your blood, the call and the plea for help near a place that is called the Warren Chamber. Why have you brought it here, Pascal? Entity Nomos asked permission for the visit. My objective was to observe the process of integration into a servitor. We wanted to see, observe, cognize, speak. We want to speak with you. Will you speak with us? Yeah. Many things, happenings, events, decisions. We've been observing you. We want to learn. We remember the day when we first met you. You gave us your blood to drink. We helped you save yourself. This is the same convoys from the ship. Exactly the same convoy from the ship. Already read it. Choices that I took on Raikad Minores. Every thread that connects people, every life, their value is beyond measure. There is no greater reward in guiding others to salvation when all that surrounds us is darkness. So my actions were good, and so Nomos copies. If you play as Hereticus, he will also copy that as well. You do understand correctly. Benevolence. Light, movement, connections, and help. We're enjoying this, perhaps because we're too connected to you, through blood, through life. Thank you for speaking with us. Nomos are grateful. The Emperor and my right. It will be funny if Nomos is on the Messiah or the Emperor. That would be hilarious. Ancient Chronicle. Pirates annihilated by von Valancius's dynasty. Skull of the legendary pirate who terrorized the Koronus Expanse. Heinrichs is here. Aristocrats. My congratulations, your lordship, my dear Messiah, grant you understanding. Lean toward Heinrich's interesting conversation. Very illuminating, giving me plenty of food for thought. And again, awareness check failed. With so much awareness, you fail awareness check. Oh. Even in leisure, you never cease to be of help. I appreciate it. That is why they call it the unsleeping eye of the Inquisition. Even in sleep, I hear everything. Before this gala concludes, there is something I'd like to tell you. Be careful today. I sense that a wave of darkness will soon hit our defensive lines. And I hope that we'll still get a chance to meet you there as an ally. Observe the guests. Toriana Gaprak, Macarius Sourback, and you dazzling beauty wearing a gilded augment necklace around her throat, his wife. Heinrichs, who joined the group unnoticed, mostly kept silent, listening intently to their every word. So how are you these days, Toriana? The corruption of Kiawagama was a great blow to my family. Contemptible cubist Delphine betrayed our trust, desecrated the forged cathedrals, took my esteemed cousin's life. On behalf of my family, I humbly beg you to forgive our negligence. I'm ready to accept any punishment. Look closely at Toriana. Oh, I succeeded at one check, finally. There is something lurking beneath Toriana's repentant expression, a grudge. It would seem that she was personally offended by the nightmare into which cubist Delphine plunged her domain, and she feels betrayed. You notice Toriana mechanical visors periodically looking past you in the direction of Pascal. It seems the tech priest is an object of fascination for her. I see you're interested in my companion Pascal. I will grant you the privilege of conversing with him. Thank you, your lordship. I know that you choose to have him by your side during the ceremony, and I would be honored to meet such a highly placed member of the Adeptus Mechanicus. For although House Gaprak does intend to follow the Omnissiah, we're but lay people, and we're not permitted to converse with such enlightened servants of the Machine God. Your gracious assent fills my heart with joy. We will rebuild Kiavagama. Whatever. I guess they know I won't report it. Macarius, I'm surprised you deigned to make an appearance here this evening. Servant of the von Valancius dynasty, had I not come, I would have committed an act of unacceptable insolence and damaged my family's honor. Macarius' wife offers you a charming smile, as if apologizing for her husband's vitriolic tone. Her large dark eyes are brimming with curiosity. I would like to become better acquainted with your wife. Macarius is visibly vexed by this shift in the conversation. His wife offers you a reserved smile. It's an honor to be in your company, your lordship. It is my pleasure. Macarius is lucky to have such a beautiful wife, perhaps more so than you are to him. You flatter me, but I cannot say that it's not to my liking. Toriana and Macarius are watching the conversation unfold, not quite believing their eyes and ears. They can't succeed at all of this. Skill checks are just crazy. Your countenance is familiar somehow. Could it be a resemblance to the image of the Saint Mallet? Primo claiming to bear any resemblance to a great saint. I like the virtue. Hope this won't be the end of our acquaintance. You wouldn't mind if I wrote you from time to time, would you, your worship? Macarius, you wouldn't mind too, would you? Certainly not. I promise to answer whenever I'm not occupied with the conquest and destruction of the enemies of humanity. I daren't count on such generosity, courtesy, your lordship. A high honor for House Sauerback. Macarius grips the hilt of his parade blade as if trying to strangle it, and wheezes furiously. And what has displeased you, Macarius? I'm your dynasty's loyal servant, but you ask and I will answer. Too long has the Koronus Expanse live under the rule of rogue traders. The privileges granted to them make people think that the commoners too can dismiss the prohibitions of the Imperium. For the good of the sector, rogue traders must become paragons of the law, not exceptions to it. But if many warrant holders exhibit lawful conduct, no, they do not. Even you, your lordship, are the subject of the strangest of rumors. And you have just recently inherited your protectorate. Kunrad Wojtyver people, for instance, claim that you had a hand in the esteemed Theodora's demise and accuse you of many other misdeeds. It doesn't matter whether or not their claims are true. The people hear them, believe them, and think that they may follow your example. Your poor head tormented with so many concerns. Would you like to have it removed from your shoulders? Your will is absolute. When my head ceases to be of use, I will humbly place it upon the executioner block. Macarius' voice drips with insincere obedience. Tell me about Starbucks. Hey, Macarius, you are fucked, man. That's not how you speak with a rogue trader. Argenta. Idira. And now the rogue traders, Chorda and Winterscale. See them. Bolton the Grey, Janus Doloroso. Caligos Winterscale. There you are. Welcome to the circle where each member is as powerful, ambitious, greedy, and vain as the last. That is to say, the noble rogue traders. Yes, you found yourself suitable company, Caligos, at the very least. Now you can enjoy idle diversions, boast about your power, and indulge in profane pastimes with one who is your equal, rather than a member of the lower classes. Observe the rogue traders. Caligos Winterscale is a broad-shouldered, athletic-looking man. He frequently flashes a bright smile, no less dazzling than the blade of the power axe he carries. Every part of him, from the toes of his magnificent boots to the tips of his hair, radiates strength and a desire to live and win. His smile is crooked, as if ready to turn into a hostile snarl at any moment. Next to him is the unmoving hulk of a man clad in armor. His low forehead and gloomy face bear signs of degradation. His bloodshot eyes are expressionless, like a pair of glass buttons. Incendia Chorda radiates cosmic cold. Her skin is unnaturally white, and a nervous tick is constantly tugging at the left side of her noble visage. Garbed in a full dress uniform adorned with purity seals, she is embodiment of a true imperial aristocrat. Haunting her side is a gaunt shadow of a priest in a plain black robes. Hieronymus Doloroso, whom you met on football, gives you a respectful nod. Whisper loudly to Winterscale, is she always so abrasive? What can you mean? Today she's in remarkably good form. What do you think of celebration? I like it. One can instantly tell that we've been invited by the Oak Trader, not some administrative bootlicker. We're conquerors of wild sectors, slayers of unknown beasts, executioners of Xenos empires. Caligos, you should take this opportunity to learn. This is what the palace of a Oak Trader looks like, not like a Xeno menagerie, a pirate's treasure hold, or however difficult it may be for you to believe it an orbital brothel. Thank you for your visit, Caligos. I should be thanking you. I was almost certain that you would use my difficulties on footfall as means to bring the devious weasel Bloodheim to heel and take the station for your own. It's what any rogue trader would have done, but you proved yourself to be less predictable than that. Well then, since you have turned out to be a pleasant surprise and stopped Incendia from snatching my possession, I will compensate you for your efforts. I have a nice little world I conquered that I can never seem to get around to. I'll throw it in along with more substantial gift I have brought. Thwarting Incendia Chorda's ambitions deserve a worthy trophy. He snaps his fingers and the armored brute hands you an exactly adorned rifle, clearly not of human making. It's a trophy from a good hunt. You and I should hunt together sometime, so you can show yourself in action, new blood. Caligos punches you in the shoulder. Does your gift come with a good story? Oh yes, I claimed it in the reefs of Hecaton, where we had a clash with Xenos. They were really trying to get my throat, and by the heat and stars they almost succeeded. Caligos is speaking with such joy, as though he is recounting the best day of his life. Only 1 in 10 made out of Hecaton, and now it's only me and Wharton here. We returned without any loot and virtually without a ship. All I got from the trip was a hold full of dead Xenos and this deadly beauty, which their leader used to put the 2 holes in my hide. An impressive victory. Do you truly believe a creation of ungodly Xenos to be a good gift, Caligos? You would call into question the privileges bestowed upon me by the Emperor. You can try. Let the Saint Drusus mission put forth their champion. I will slay him in a trial by combat. Threaten the esteemed Hieronymus one more time, Caligos, and the war that you love to prattle on about will commence. I swear it, one drop of holy blood split by you will send the remains of your realm up flames better than any tanker of Prometheum. Incendia and Caligos exchange looks of fury. The latter, snarling like a wolf, is clearly ready to start said war here and now. Hieronymus' dry voice hits your ears like the crack of a whip. Quell your pride, both of you. I do not wish to fight you, Caligos, but I fear not your threats. That does not frighten me, for it's inevitable. It is true as the senselessness and pointlessness of a war between us. And who's the remarkable warrior in your retinue? Vorten the Grey, my arch-militant, a fierce warrior, and as loyal to me as an obedient beast to its master. I bore him in a miserable colony back when he was a runt on his last legs, and now he's practically a part of my dynasty. Vorten the Grey, whose skin really is dotted with grey spots, looks at Caligos with purest devotion. Indeed, he is akin to an animal, one that is bloodthirsty and mindless. I heard that you are decent in a fight. What do you think? Would you gut Vorten if it came down to it? Or would he be one gutting you? Then how am I supposed to do this now? Examine the gear. Examine the gear. Ignoring the fearsome-looking broadsword and pistol, which hang from his belt rather ostentatiously, you notice a great number of thin blades with curved edges skillfully concealed within the Vorten armor. Those toys are deadly in the hands of a quick fighter. It appears the Winterscale arch-militant likes to surprise his opponent with unexpected speed. He's a quick fighter despite not looking like one. But I know this, which means that he wouldn't fool me. Instead, he would be lying dead. A new glint appears in the bloodshot eyes, a glint of appraisal, intelligent and cunning. No, Vorten is not the thick, bloodthirsty beast he wants to be seen as. Behind this mask is a careful and keen mind. How fares your protectorate? Protectorate, more like the bleeding scraps of one. The warp storm tore it to shreds, but my servants will piece it back together. If they don't, I'll chop off their heads and find myself more capable helpers. Something strikes you as strange. Caligos Winterscale wasn't always this nonchalant about his protectorate. He used to be known as shrewd and business-minded, even concerned for his subjects. It seems he has grown bored of ruling. Thank you for the gift. Kill someone important with it. That would be the best show of gratitude. Eye of Hecate. Lays Eldari. Over penetration 100%. Incendia, you seem to find me objectionable. Did you expect any different? I watched for years as outlaws thrived on football, and then at long last I had a chance to put an end to it. To seize the Tag Vladimir by the throat, to force football to atone and put the fear of him back into the masses. But you interfered and destroyed my plan for the sake of a banal profit. Theodora taught you only too well, it seems. She too was less concerned with her duty to the Expanse than her own personal interests. But you can be sure that I will not cease cleansing the furibundus system of the pirate scourge. And if your trade prospects are damaged in the process, you will have only yourself to blame. None are without fault, noble Incendia. What point is there in targeting someone for their turpitude when the true purity can never be found? You threatened to starve football and brought them salvation. So which one of us serves the Emperor and which their own unhealthy ambitions? Please, I will believe it no sooner than hearing words that half the population of Den of Heresy has been sent into the Void's embrace. I have faith that the Blessed is perceptive enough to see the appalling nature of the residents of the depraved place. I take it you were not overly fond of Theodora. She was of the same breed as Incited, insolent, unaware of the Emperor's stern gaze set upon her. I did not doubt her wisdom and courage, but Theodora did not have a shred of humility or fear of his wrath. Asp, that must be Espis Shorda, you remember the name. From what you recall, she was a rogue trader too, and a renowned one in that. Well, I for one liked Theodora, the stories they told of her travels to nameless stars, and yes, there was no fear in her. Winterscale sighs pensively, and his lively expression grows a little grayer. Who is Espis Shorda to you? This is Incendia's favorite subject. She just loves talking about Espis. The example of the contemptible Espis is a warning to us all. Even among rogue traders empowered by the Emperor himself, a seed of perversion can blossom. You notice Incendia seemingly freeze and choke up at the mention of Espis, but the priest's condemning words cause her icy rigidness to evaporate, and her dark eyes fill with righteous fury. That reprobate is my forebear and my curse. Espis Shorda was a cruel, covetous, blaspheming monster. She fraternized with Xenos, she despised the faith, she robbed and slaughtered. She was drawn to dark secrets. One day she boarded her ship and vanished into the depths of Koronus Expanse. She was declared missing. But I know the bloody day will come when we see Espis Shorda battle flagship once more. Hieronymus, your appearance here is unexpected. Esteemed Hieronymus is my confessor. I'm greatly obliged to him for agreeing to accompany me on this journey. May the Emperor Light guide your way across the abyss of human wickedness. See, the fate is more than just a word to you. Fate is everything to me. In his name, I eradicated corruption on 100 worlds, and will do so on 1,000 more. By his will, I hunt down pirates and desolate their wild nests. Let Jordan's name make any firebrand tremble, for sooner or later I will cast them into the void. The funny thing is, people still call me the foul-tempered tyrant in all of this. Caligos' amiable smile somehow resembles the bare teeth of a wild animal. I hope the taste of fine wine will wash the bitterness of defeat from your tongue, Incendia. I'm not inclined to intoxicants of any sort, and nothing will wash away the memory of how you interfered in my plans. I promise you that. Enjoy the evening. Believe me, I intend to enjoy myself to the full, to justify so long a voyage, if nothing else. Keep the faith, the Emperor protects. Politics. We're gonna see more of them, I'm sure of it. Later on. You! I'm weary and I wish to retire to my chambers. Then dialogue. Let's begin Act 3. Right now. This is where it starts. And now Heinrich has a visual bug.
We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
Oh, your voice acting, Xavier. Same man you saw among your guests is waiting for you in your chambers. With the look of someone who is supposed to be there, he casts a cold, assessing gaze over you from top to bottom. No one save Theodora has ever allowed themselves the liberty of looking at you in such a way. Will my servant live?
Probably. Unless he suffered from hidden ailments, he will soon come to without any major damage to his health. Either way, oblivion is a far safer option for him than the dangerous privilege of being a witness to this conversation.
Remind me, who are you? Let me hear you.
Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar, head of the Koronus Conclave. I'm authorized by the grace of the Emperor to watch over the Koronus Expanse, root out heresies, and preempt the Xenos threat.
You heard the name Xavier Calcazar, of course. You know nothing about the accomplishments and victories of this man, who is the de facto warden of the Expanse. Archives and chronicles grow surprisingly quiet the moment the Lord Inquisitor becomes involved.
No need to search your memory. My war is waged on clandestine fronts, and any battle reports are always thoroughly filtered. Trust me, you need not know the manner of things I have to face and the measures I sometimes have to take. Such knowledge is dangerous to the mind.
Heinrichs, I thought we were friends. Friends don't break into each other's chambers in the middle of the night with weapons, do they?
We used other means of travel to pay you this visit. I assure you, rogue trader, that all your locks are in order.
If the Inquisition wishes to have a talk with me, I'm glad to be at its service.
A commendable openness to cooperation. It will be taken into account. Master Van Kellox has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words. What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Janus, the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you. Then that is what we will discuss.
It feels like an interrogation.
Does it? We're in your chambers, not a confessional cell. You're in perfectly good health, and none of the varied and fascinating instruments and procedures that expedite candor are being applied to you. I assure you, you would immediately know if our discussion turned into an interrogation.
What do you want to know about Janus?
Oh, I know it already. Even though you were quite effective at removing all evidence that could point to the blunder made by House von Valancius, it is saddening to realize that the rogue trader's connivance allowed a heretic who had been fostering a cult for years to come to power.
Theodora was the one who appointed Vistencia. What does it have to do with me?
As my colleagues like to say, innocence proves nothing. You have inherited not just Theodora's glory and wealth, but her mistakes as well.
Her deeds are a stain upon my dynasty's honor, I admit it.
Your humility is heartening. Rest assured, it will be noted during the investigation of your lamentable oversight.
How did you come to be so remarkably well informed?
Are you surprised? You thought the Inquisition was unaware of the circumstances of your deeds. How often do you find yourself thinking that there are things we shouldn't know about your life? It is my job to know everything, and I do it very well. Keep that in mind.
If you knew what was happening on Janus, why didn't you intervene yourself then?
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this. We had the situation under control. There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Koronus Expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision and caution, without any room for error. Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
What do you want to know about Kiava Gamma?
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiava Gamma should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, it was House von Valancius that gave Cubis Delphim so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy. Was that your rationale?
The world of Kiavagama is tainted no more, I can vouch for that.
I hope you are sufficiently thorough. If you are not, you will be called to account.
What about the Drukari?
Yes, yes, the enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Via Boss 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seemed strange to begin with, and lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack, but even this time, their daggers missed your heart.
Super Shri, thanks man, thanks. Is this Act 3 already? It just started. 5 minutes ago. It just started. How is Act 3? It just started. I already played Act 3 in beta, but I guess it's gonna be drastically different now. Because that Act 3 in beta was like 20% finished. We should see a different version of Act 3 now. Nice and easy. You will see it all in an hour from now, when it actually starts. I mean, with combat. What companions will I take to Act 3? I don't know. I really don't know. I'll think about it when the time comes for that. Then good evening, Pastor.
Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos. To have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive. So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts? Meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent.
Xenos made more attempts on Saint Drusus's life than mine. Does that make him a traitor too?
So you already think you're cut from the same cloth as St. Drusus, do you? Ambitious? I'll make note of it.
No matter what you say to the Inquisition, you're fucking guilty. No matter what you did till this moment, you're guilty. Is that all?
Far from it, my dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora, who was so much more experienced and skilled than you? Is it a coincidence that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Raikat Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voidvia about you? Was it virtuous of you to allow the warp-stricken Voidsmen to join your crew? The ones who served on the ship that was turned into a trap for you by Kunrad Voidvia? Isn't it possible that they were part of the blight he had sown? The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character, but it won't in this case. The Inquisition, which I represent, is willing to show extraordinary faith in your person. For the sake of our invaluable partnership, I'm going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself or may again in the future. I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
She cooperated with you?
And benefited greatly from it. The warrant's power is not without limit, and neither is the protection it provides. All those mysterious expeditions, dubious experiments, collections of xenotech oddities are dangerous pastimes. It takes more than the Emperor's permission to pursue them without consequences. One must also make sure I am not displeased by it. Let me demonstrate how it works. In your retinue, there is a psyker who is yet to receive Terra's sanction, which, as we both know, is a grave threat and a blasphemy to the laws of the Imperium. I am aware of this secret, but I'm not displeased in the slightest. And so she lives on, your handy Psycha Idira class.
Why such an interest in my person?
You haven't been in a position of power for long, and so one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Koronus Expanse. Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless? The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades. And there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of space wolves, blessed space marines summoned in my name, did not cool their interest in the Expanse. A mighty explorative fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of centuries ago. House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed, and this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed incendiar. Koligos Winterscale has abruptly lost all interest in his domain, and his only apparent concern now is hunting even more dangerous xenobeasts. And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own master of whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
Is Heinrich staying with me?
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrichs, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the von Phalanzius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
Yeah, he will.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will remain in place. It puts me at ease to know that there is someone to watch over you.
I consider it an honor to accompany you.
What deal do you want?
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give you orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that, when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them. I seem to remember that your exalted aristocrats presented you with many gifts. It would be rude of me not to follow suit. Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor. In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid.
A ring of the Inquisition.
The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. Scarlet means that you have shed your blood for the good of the Imperium, and therefore, you deserve to have his servants shed their blood for you.
25 Persuasion and Inquisitor Decree ability can be used once per combat. You gain plus 30 to momentum. Remove Burn, Bleed and Toxic. All allies gain Wearer Persuasion divided by 7 temporary wounds, and Wearer's Persuasion divided by 7% armor until the end of freaking combat. Whoa. And I'm playing a Persuasion character. This is great. On behalf of my house, hereby promise and guarantee to offer the Inquisition any assistance it may require. The Emperor protects. Lord Inquisitor, it would be the greatest honor to swear an oath of loyalty to you and join the ranks of the Inquisition. I see no reason to refuse such a generous offer. Don't want to have any dealings with you. If you want me as your ally, you can request an audience and repeat everything you just said in public. Imperialis. No more voice acting. Your zeal is impressive, however I cannot accept such an oath from you, at least not now. You will be more useful to the Inquisition in your current position than as a member of my coterie. Nevertheless, we received an interrogator's dagger. On a successful hit with a primitive weapon, target must pass willpower or immediately be moved 4 cells away, provoking attacks of opportunity. This is a gift, a sign your fervor has not gone unnoticed. Should it remain undiminished, one day this blade will be melted down to make your Inquisitorial rosette. Such is the tradition of our conclave. As if in confirmation of the Lord Inquisitor words, Heinrich brings his hand to his own rosette.
Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
Well, you will obviously want to discuss what just happened. But not now, I presume. Right now, it would be better for you to rest, and think on the Lord Inquisitor's words in private. I bid you good night, rogue trader.
The hidden cache on Dargonus is impossible
The rise of
because I
the
don't
rogue
have a skill
trader
check.
restored a tenuous equilibrium to the von Valancius Protectorate. For a time, threats subsided, activity returned to trade routes, and reclaimed worlds began to heal. The new Lord Captain subjects praised the God Emperor and their leader wholeheartedly, for none knew what fate might await them.
Now what? Spend the first several hours of your morning listening to the High Factotum's lengthy report on the latest trade exchanges, arrangements, disputes, and countless bureaucratic procedures. From outside the illuminated, tightly closed windows, you can hear the muffled sounds of Dargonus and its everyday life, the life that's been passing you by lately, as you've been preoccupied by matters of your protectorate from dawn till dusk. Clementia barely contains a yawn. Once Yanis Denrock has finished, she pulls out her data slate. Thank you for the report, High Factotum. Your work is highly appreciated both by everyone here and the Adeptus Administrate. Your Lordship, we're almost done. We just need to go over the final items of today's agenda that I would like to report to you personally. I lost track of how long I've been trapped on Dargonus for the good of Protectorate. Hurry up, I better hear some good news today. I will strive my best to live up to your expectations. Allow me to pass you gifts from your loyal subjects. The high nobility of Dargonus, it goes without saying that every living soul in your protectorate is blessed to serve your lordship faithfully and wholeheartedly. However, this humble gesture is meant as a token of deepest appreciation of your magnanimity toward their esteemed families. Count Verserian made arrangements for the delivery of several tons of supplies for your future journeys. The house is also transferring a regiment of its finest into your personal charge. Each of these brave troopers has undergone righteous voidfarer training and will be humbled to lay down his life for you, Lord Captain. Please commend them as you see fit. House Gaprak has sent shuttles carrying sacred technology and manufactured parts that can be used to replace all joints and connections within mechanisms. The machine spirits of these devices have been pacified. They are slumbering peacefully as they await your decision on how to employ their capabilities. News on particular import came from the House Intelligence Network. Lord Inquisitor Kalkazar is rumored to be planning a visit to Footfall. A number of Imperial Navy ships were commandeered by Lord Kalkazar and are also being scrambled to footfall. Furthermore, we have received reports claiming that secret messages were delivered to the capital worlds of Houses Short and Winterscale. It is possible that Lord Inquisitor calls to arms may smother the conflict that is brewing between the two dynasties. We're seeing an increasing number of skirmishes between their ships in neutral systems. I do not doubt that her ladyship Chorda will attempt to sway Lord Inquisitor to her side, especially since his lordship Winterscale luck seems to be running out. Riots have broken out on several of his worlds, and yet he has shown no intention of quelling them. Instead, the rogue trader inflicted brutal punishment upon one of his oldest colonies, Vesuvia Secundus, based on allegations of treacherous sentiment. Oddly enough, our agents were unable to find any proof of sedation among the populace there. As soon as we have any updates, you will be the first to know. Lastly, your pet Xena Sirliet, I believe, is seeking a meeting with you. She had the audacity to defile the rogue trader palace with her profane presence and refuses to leave until she has spoken with you. I would never presume to be able to read the emotions of Xenos, but the Eldari appeared perturbed. I believe she mentioned a voidship of some sort. Maybe best if she told you everything directly. And with that, allow me and Master Denrock to take our leave. Perhaps that last request will serve as a welcome distraction. Indeed, your lordship's stay under Koronus has been rather long. However, your protectorate is now enjoying a period of relative stability that for the time being no longer demands your lordship's personal involvement in its matters. Glory to the rogue trader. So it begins, and the very first thing is the first exemplar level on everyone. Oh man. These are full freaking bunch of new talents. And now we're gonna spend some time checking out exemplar talents and what suits what, especially with companions. I know what to go for me, but companions, oh. There's a lot to do. Additional action point increase on half of exemplar. There's gonna be 6 action points on everyone. 2, 3 abilities more. 3 per archetype plus special abilities. You can go up to 15 and above different abilities. From like 50% game and onwards. Just to take a glass of water. Be right back fast and then we're gonna level up. Hey. Jesse. Evo. Kako sad ući? A, ovo? Dobro. Ja ne volim sve. Merec srce. Ej, možeš još jednu kafu? Bilo bi ekstra. Oh. Let's begin. That's a lot. Additional wounds. Wounds are further increased by toughness, increasing by 10 plus 4% in the same way as basic wounds. Good toughest steel, so you don't get one shot. At the start of the character turn, if they restore 10% of maximum wounds, the character has less than 20% of the wounds left, they restore 10% of the maximum wounds, and no. Target they consider character priority target, therefore no. Enemies killed by the character with a melee must be no. As long as the character wears light, their dodge is increased by half of the armor bonus of that armor. I think I do wear light. I think I wear light. Character set? No. Five times deflection and Abelard is great with Unbreakable Will. Immune to all effects that reduce movement points. They gain toughness bonus movement point. That's good on Abelard as well. Unstoppable. Relentless. When the character is healed, they regain no. Martyrdom. Character is attacked by an enemy, they gain momentum into the difficulty tier of attacking no. Deflection is doubled against single target attacks. Now Steel Shell and Abelard is a must. A must. Character gains a bonus to their strength equal to 20% of their maximum wounds. Really? Very powerful. Whenever the character loses wounds, their next no. During the first turn of combat, character has +2 additional action points. Very good. Every round after a character kills first enemy, the character immediately makes additional single attack and no. Destroyer. Character melee attacks through his target armor by strength until the end. Good, but not for me. 0 deflection, 0 armor against the character attack, suffer 10 additional damage from no. Character ignores ballistic bonus of the enemy deflection. Very good on Argent. Any damage the character deals is increased by +1 for every attack they have made this combat. Very good on Argent. All damage dealt by the character is increased by 3% till the end of the combat for every new enemy damaged by them this combat. No. When allies take actions on extra turns given by the character, they deal 15% more damage. Now that's great for me. Eager subordinates. And eager for battle. But I would say eager subordinates right now wins. After an ally takes extra turn, provided a character gains 7 armor, 7 dodge percent, 3 movement points. Very good on me as well. Eager attention. If an extra turn given a character abilities or talents grants movement, the target gains 4 additional movement. If action, then action. Extremely good. Allied divinity cells of the character will deal fellowship bonus percentage more damage and will suffer less damage around me. The effect does not stack. Like better is great. That I shot. Finish the job. Irritation is also great. Malign influence is also great. +5 to all characteristics. Bonus is double when on less than 25% wounds. Attacks gain additional over penetration. Character gains +2 times intelligence bonus divided by 2. To armor, penetration, dodge, reduction, chance, damage, parry. Damage from the character over penetration, masterful display. When allies take actions on extra turns, they will deal 15% more damage. And I can pick another one. But this one is from the first tier. So it goes Exemplar, first tier, second tier. Exemplar, second tier, first tier. Second tier, Exemplar, first, second, Exemplar. How many exemplars do we got? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly 5 talents to pick with exemplars, so you can't just waste them. They're like the best talents that exist in a game. So you need to be very, very careful what you pick and when. I believe the best trade-off right now is eager subordinates. Later on it can be attention as well. And a firebrand and a flag bearer. So these 4 with eager for battle. That would be exactly 5, and that's for the officer. You just can't go with the rest. There is toughest steel, I love it. Additional 12, it's 100 wounds. And they're further increased by toughness by 10 multiplied in the same way as basic wounds. 10 times 4. 40. 12. 140. If I'm right, it should be 140 HP. Kinda a must on every single character in the game. So you don't get one-shotted. I'm just curious of how much I'll actually gain. It should be 140. Let's see if I'm right. So I'm picking whatever here. Apply. Only 106. So how the fuck do you count that? Increases by 10. 40%. 40% from toughness. You gain 12, then 40% from toughness. I was counting flat. I was counting it flat. 18 wounds gain. If you don't get it, then you get one-shotted. I haven't saved like that. Don't. Who called you? Like day and night when the game is voice acted indeed. Imagine how I feel when I need to read everything. For me, it's definitely the best when there is voice acting. I didn't save like that. Jesus. No. Shit, idiot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Elentach, at last you left your ornate cage. For many a turn have I sought to meet you, and yet your servant, the one who is like the silver-haired Abelard, but twice as young, is no favor for the requests of child of Asurian. Take me to a place where the hearing of the others will not steal the worlds intended for you. While you were mending the wounds of this world left by Twisted One's attack, I was able to discover, no, not Krudarach's fate, merely traces of it, as Muaran, who found sanctuary under the boughs of Liliatan Forest, so did my other kin find refuge in a system known as Atlas Reach. We must make a journey there with haste, before new dangers destroy the witnesses who can show me a way to Last Krudarach, whose fate remains shrouded by the stars. Their knowledge is the sole thread that may lead me to the truth, Elentach. I ask that your metal-winged ship take me along the thread before it tears under the strain of time and circumstance. How were you able to contact this Eldari? No, I did not contact Asuriani. I have no means to do so. I had enough time to explore the stone jungle of your world while you were preoccupied with your urgent matters. The path of the outcast has taught me to observe and listen to the world around. In this case, the thrones of Monkey at the port, errant conversations, rumors, chance words. Like parts of speckled mosaic, they come together to form a hazy image. My kin were seen in Atlas Reach, and now all we have to do is pull out the web of connections and possibilities to uncover whatever is concealed from the unseeing eye. Give me coordinates. Thank you, Elentach. If this path indeed takes me to the truth, I will be indebted to you, a rare happening between our two kinds. Let's level up. There's a lot to do. So, the very first one is eager for battle. 2 additional action points. And the next one is from tier, first tier. Increase resolve when targeting allies. The effect stacks and is prolonged until the end of the officer next turn. Each time it stacks, cannot be prolonged. Faster ulti. Bonus to weapon skill. 3 times fellowship. Will deal fellowship more damage on attacks of opportunity. Increase armor. Give temporary wounds with inspire courage. Increase resolve. Remain with voice of command. Half. Resist tests. 2 times willpower bonus. 14. 14 resist tests with iron discipline. Additional movement. Whenever the officer targets an ally with an action, an ability, or an attack, that ally resolve is increased by 1. Let's go with faster ultis. Iliad Exemplar. if the character dodge reduction is higher than the enemy's dodge. And it's 60. The character damage against just a second. Sorry about that. Where were we? Elliot. Character dodge reduction is 60. Character damage against the enemy is increased by 1% for every 5 difference between the character data. Masterful precision. A dead-eye shot deals additional perception damage bonus 3 times 618 damage on a dead-eye shot. Counts with Slay the Game as well. Counts with a Wild Hunt. I need to be careful here. Very, very careful. When a single shot deals damage to target other than the main target, they gain +5 ballistic until the end of combat. Over penetration. Over penetration attacks cannot be dodged. There are so many great talents for Exemplar, it's just fucking insane. Dual characteristics is also very nice. Perfection under fire. They're really nice. I mean, it's dual. You raise everything. Doubles the bonus when you're low. 7% of the dodge. Critical chance and critical damage by 7% of the dodge. What's 7%? That does it. Now, does it count as 95 or overcapping? That's 65, 75, 80, 30, 110. Now, does it count as a 7% from 110 or a 7% from 95? How does it count? No matter how it counts, I guess it's 10. 10 to 15 crit damage and crit chance. Deflection doubled against single targets. Good on Abelard. Strength bonus is strength equal to 20% of the maximum bonus. You don't know what's better? I wanna pick the best one available for Iliad now. Every round after the character kills first enemy, the character immediately makes additional single attack against the closest enemy they can target with the same weapon if possible. The attack will deal 30% base damage with a 10% bonus for every difficulty tier of the first kill enemy. If the enemy was difficulty tier 1, this attack deals 40% damage in total. Tier 2, 50. Tier 3, so when you whack like a tier 5 enemy, there will be 90% damage for free on the closest enemy nearby. That dealer is really good. Critical velocity is also great on Iliad. Pinpoint accuracy is also great. There will be 3 exemplar talents. The extermination is on Argenta. Absolutely crazy. Increase 3% until the end of every new enemy damaged by them this combat. Cataclysm also good on Argenta, good on Iliad. Degraded defense. 1 stack of degraded defense effect for every 6 damage the character dealt. When an ally attacks the enemy, they deal additional damage equal to the number of degraded defense stacks. Also good on Argenta with burst attacks. Puncture is great. Deadly aim is great. Masterful precision is great. Combat meditation is great on Psychers. Absolutely great. Malign influence should be great on Cassia. I love Perfection Under Fire as well. It's +5 to all stats. Shot through. Over penetration cannot be dodged. Know It All is nice. Over penetration attacks do not decrease damage. So basically, when you go with a shot through, you need to follow up shot through with Carnage. They cannot dodge over penetration, and then on top of it all, damage doesn't decrease on over penetrating attacks. It's absolutely hilarious. On Argenta, on Iliad, no matter who the range companion is. it scales well. And again, I love that dealer because of a free shot. Disastrous collision. If you decide to play Arch Militant as melee range with a kick, it's a must. Character single shots deal damage to targets other than their main target again ballistic until the end of combat. And Masterful Display is also great. There's a lot of great talents on Exemplar. Now the question is what to take first, because that's the most important. Immediately make a single attack against the closest enemy. Right now there won't be tier 1 enemies anymore. They're all tier 3 and above. So that's immediately 60-70% damage and above. For free. As a death dealer. Let's test out that dealer. And this is tier 1. What is she? Oh my god. Operative. Whenever you trigger exploit, you gain additional damage and arm pen until the end of combat, and it stacks Tides of Excellence. Exposed weakness will reduce enemy toughness and willpower for 1 round though, with intelligence bonus 3 times by 12. Exploit into weakness. Abra, man, šta radiš? You lose -3 movement points and damage is reduced by 20% on the next turn. Passive learning is bugged. It won't be bugged on full release, but right now it's freaking bugged. Best talent that you can take, but it just doesn't exist right now. A ne moraš rombu staviti negdje drugdje, evo ovdje. A negdje drugdje. Ajde, će vidimo poslije. Zero points exposed weakness. Sniping spot. Additionally grants operative 5+6 11% armor penetration against enemies that are 7 cells away or further. It's gonna be sniper expertise. I love it. Shy. Truth to be told, I don't care about her that much. And because I don't care, she profits +5 to all. Boom! Look at this! Shit! Tier 1. Iron Discipline. Good. Good. Perfection under fire is really good. Man. Psych. There's nothing to think about. There is a perfect talent for every psyker, and it's a must for the first exemplar talent. And there is really nothing to think about. Where is it? Malign influence. No. Combat meditation. Willpower. As long as you don't have ranged weapons equipped. Staves do not count as ranged. Combat meditation it is. Next. Operative. The hardest one. Because he benefits out of 20 talents. Plus 2 times intelligence, no. Shot through, no. Perfection under fire, man. Need to think much. They're just hilarious. You can also profit out of combat meditation. If you decide to play him as a psyker, that is. Which I don't, I play him as assassin. First melee, each round will deal additional damage for every cell between the character current position and the spot where they were started this turn. And when I use ulti on Heinrichs, it can happen that I go like 2 or 3 screens away. For each tile, that's 2 damage. He can move up to 30 tiles. 60 to 80 additional damage on ulti. 60 to 80 additional, and I've seen him deal like 130 crit with exposed weakness and with aim for the opening, and then you ramp up this. He's gonna crit for 200 plus with a crushing assault. Now there's also the masterful precision where assassin profits out the most. But it's only for ranged. Critical velocity on Heinrichs, holy shit, that's a lot, because he crazy with dodge. 85, 95, 105, 135, critical velocity 7%, gonna be 15. He's gonna crit like crazy. As long as you're in light, and I am with Heinrichs. Dodge is increased by half of the amount of armor bonus for that armor. He needs tricky defense, he needs critical velocity, he needs perfection under fire. Then he can profit out of toughest steel as well. Because toughness is gonna raise up to 50 now with buff. The extra wounds 100 and so. The question is which one to take first. I think he's already got dodge high enough. I should take it as a second one. The first one is gonna be the one I marked. I love buff, it's great. Not that great on Heinrichs though, when I better think about it. Go with a tricky defense. Fuck that, and we're going with a tricky defense. It's 17% additional dodge with tricky defense. So we're going with a tricky defense. See if I can get even more here now. Warrior gains damage deflection, parry chance increased by 25, attacks of opportunity, defensive stance, opening strike. Takes again. Biblical. Give him some mitigation. When he gets hit, but I rely on dodge and then harden scars as well to give additional mitigation. It's not much, but he can get one-shotted, I guess, on 2 and above. But you do rely on dodge. Now you profit out of all talents, basically. Easily. Yeah, easily profits out of all. This is insane. Character deflection is doubled against single target attacks. They can't do shit to him, okay? I ramped this up to plus 15 during combat with buffs and so on, and the doubled amount of 15 would be 30 deflection. He can get hit, literally, with Steel Shell. For single target attacks. There is. And I definitely think he can profit like crazy out of perfection under fire as a warrior vanguard. With everything, with health, with skill checks, with parry, with damage, with chance to hit, and with his vanguard spells, I mean abilities. And he's often at low amount of wounds, which is gonna make it plus 10. So you need steel shell, you need perfection under fire, you need, where is it? Addition, bonus to the strength equal to 20% of maximum wounds, unstoppable, immune to all effects that reduce movement points, they gain toughness bonus movement points, he can traverse a lot of ground, it's great. Where was the and tough as steel? There will be 4 exemplar talents that are good on a tanky Abelard. So the very first one I'll take is gonna be perfection under fire, because I love it. It's just hilarious. Now it's tier 1. Charge doesn't end warrior turn. When you parry, next archetype ability will cost -1 action point less. The warrior gains toughness damage deflection against the first attack made by every enemy during this combat. Prepared for pain is great. Living shield. Unrage. Prepare for pain. Nice. Nice. Ah, Argentina. No. What I do with you? She can profit out of Puff as well. Like crazy. But there are those deadly aims and so on. Puncture. That's shot through. Cannot dodge over penetration into carnage. Over penetration. Damage does not decrease on a burst shot. You need both shot through and carnage. Extermination. Any damage the character deals is increased by +1 for every attack they made during the combat. She can shoot like 20 times. That's 20 more damage in round 1. But the best first option would be perfection under fire, because it's just the reality. That is the best. Then I'll take extermination. And then I'll take over penetration with carnage. And it's good enough. A Revel in Slaughter can be used after 2 kills instead of 3. Very good. Under full cover, 10% damage against that enemy. You can get full cover always. You just ramp up Abelard in front of her. Abelard counts as a full cover. So Fortress always works as long as Argenta hugs Abelard. Second attack action in a turn deals agility damage bonus more to enemies that have not suffered damage from the marksman during this turn. Enough bullets for everyone is insane as well. What I'm pick Revel in Slaughter. They're both good. You don't know what's better. You don't know what's better. Enough bullets for everyone. Yes. There is nothing to think about. Where is it? Combat meditation. This is officer now. Thanks for the follow, pigback. Green screen on YouTube? What? Really? Green screen on YouTube? Let me see. What do you mean green screen? What the fuck? What? Why? Oh man. Let me restart the stream fast. Be right back fast.